Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lazuardi, and in this video, I'm going to read all of the summary from the summary 1 to the summary 6 of extensive reading. First summary: the concept of tolerance in Islamic education. The term of tolerance comes from English language tolerance, while in Arabic it refers to tasamuh or tasabul, and both of them means to overlook, to tolerate, to be indulgent, merciful, and so on. To another religion, the term tolerance is also called toleration, which was analyzed by John Locke for the first time in history in the context relation between church and nation in UK. In Islam, tasamuh is not basically the same meaning with the word tolerance, because tasamuh has meaning to and to take. Tasamuh includes giving action and demand in particular limitation. The person who does a tasamuh in Islam, namely mutasmihin, meaning forgiver, taker, offerer, giver, and so on, that has the same meaning with mutasmihin. A person who does tasamuh is not only giving something that will push his rights and obligations. In other words, tasamuh attitude in religious life has a definition not to break the limit, especially related with our faith or akidah. Some of basic values for harmony life among religion adherents, as it was stated previously, are synergized with basic Islamic education principles, namely openness, affection, harmony, and integrity principles. These basic Islamic principles are primary ideas born from human's meaning in Islam perspective, which has an implication on practical of education action. A further big test is how Indonesian Muslims have religious tolerance attitude who can build superior and modern civilization with full of peaceful without losing their culture root and culture characteristic. Islamic education system is developed by applying moderate Islamic understanding conceptually so that learners have strong tolerance character. With this, the education concept developed in Islamic education institution is understanding, spirit, and management which are able to accommodate the differences and also diversities without sacrificing each individual's faith in their own religion. Summary number 2: the future of education and skills. The future of education is really important for the next generation. There are some new and unique learning techniques, methods, or even frameworks of learning. So it's very important that we need new solutions in a new era and share visions to others, so we can work and build our achievement together. We are committed to help every learner develop as a whole person, fulfill his or her potential in some specific skill that he or she very likes it. But of course, they will need a supporting environment to achieve his or her future. Also, societies are changing rapidly and profoundly that there are three challenges they need to be aware of them: environment, economic, and also social. These three things are affecting individual lives and may do so for decades. The needs for broader goals will also affect two people's lives. The rapid advance of science and technology may widen inequities, exacerbate social fragmentation, and accelerate resources depletion. We can imply that education has a vital role to play in developing the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values that enable people to contribute and benefit from all-inclusive and also sustainable future by learning to form clear and purposeful goals, work together as a team with different perspectives, find untapped opportunities, and identify multiple solutions to solve big problems. Summary number 3: language teaching and learning in multilingual classroom. Children who are migrants, it is very paramount to learn a second language of instruction and also assessment in order to be able to enter and to continue their education. The authorities of education are faced many challenges in many parts of EU since there are so many mobility levels, and it's very critical to enable the children to enter and access teaching and learning so quickly, and also to ensure they can reach their potential and progress for their higher education at the same degree as non-migrant children. The children will gain linguistic and metalinguistic skills from learning the language in addition to their mother tongue. The challenge here, because of increasing mobility in multilingual classroom, become the most problem as a result of their mother tongue when they are learning the language. Migrant children also do not reach their potential and often leave school early if they learn without a language of instruction. They will have an attainment but at lower levels. Also, children are not always supported to learn their mother tongue. But of course, schools can reduce the differences between native and migrant children without the language of instruction as they progress together in education. Summary number 4. Example of a professional abstract. From the abstract, we can see that the author, Norma Lorenz, explained about classification of the elite athlete in disability sport. In this abstract, the author said that the classification is a very crucial part of any sport event, especially for athletes with disabilities. Classification also may have an effect on athletes' career and their development in sport. The stages of the athletic career are initiation, competition, and finally retirement, and all of these stages are connected. First stage is initiation. Initiation to sport commonly occur at the community level. Classification needs to be more finalized at the very beginning for the athletes to maximize and develop their skills and potentials. Second stage is competition. During this stage, changes in classification could create stress for athletes and could have a bad effect in which resulting last-minute event changes consequently affecting many athletes. And classification systems do not support the athlete who has mentally and physically prepared if there is any inaccuracies. The final stage is of course retirement. Retirement is when athletes reinvest into their daily lives. Athletes for whom classification has been an issue may find that the retirement is very difficult for them to adapt. Of course, reclassification of the athlete may result in the athlete no longer qualifying for an event or there being no event for them. So we can say that classification in disability sports presents many complicated issues that can have profound effect for both sports system and also for athlete development itself. Summary number 5. Keeping a personal, professional journal. An article written by Mary Louise Holly from Kent State University tells us about how we do a journal keeping. No difficulties for keeping a journal. Each of us also has our own style along with specific procedures and organizations that we have. In this paper, the author provides us every information for journal writing, along with her suggestions and ideas for writing a journal. We can say that journal is a personal document. The one who reads it is actually the author of the journal. The journal excerpts in this kind of paper mainly come from the teachers as part of a year-long research, while also they kept diaries as well. They shared their journals with the author and with each other they accept throughout the project. The teachers were asked one day to write some meaningful notes and recollections, contents, styles, and also organization, as well as how they wrote the matters of personal choice. They learned many lessons during journal keeping when they're writing in a non-directed way, but some of them doing it in a hard way. Summary number 6. The Siege of Berlin and Other Stories. The short story that written by Alfonso Daudet is a short story that tells about the Siege of Berlin, Germany, during the World War II. There are 4 other short stories besides from the Siege of Berlin. They are The Last Class, The Story of a Little Alsatian, The Child Spy, The Game of Billiards, and The Bezouvi. Each of these stories had different storyline and backgrounds, still keeping the process of how Berlin was sieged at that day by the Prussians, the French Resistance Army, and of course the coalition of Allied forces. The first story is The Siege of Berlin. It tells of the great progresses on Berlin during the World War II. That's it from all of my summary today. Hope you can read it as well as like me, and I hope this summary and also the article in it would be very useful for us in the future. Thank you. The name is Lazuardi, and I'm signing off. The last thing I said, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.